Well, it's the final lap now where we'll take a look at some earnings of listed companies now. Talking about earnings, of course, let's look at UBA first and look at first quarter 2023 and look at how much has changed so far from 2021 to 2023. I beg your pardon, 2022 to 2023 first quarter. If you look at they changed about 47.5% from 183.9 to 271.1 billion in the first quarter this year. Look at the profit after tax up by 30.67% there, and look at earnings per share and profit margin. Quickly, look at Wema Bank as well. Wema Bank has the gross earnings of 132.3 billion from 93.63 in the fourth quarter of 2021 to fourth quarter of 2022. If you look at that figure there with a change of 41.3%, profit after tax move from 8.93 billion to 11.35 billion in the fourth quarter of 2022. And then finally, if you look at, I think those are the two we need to look at on the program today. So let me start from you, Ambrose. Give us your take. How impressive are these figures?
No, looking at the numbers, numbers only review the real potential.
You say numbers don't lie.
Yeah, to tell you exactly what is happening. And also, if you want to play the number, you can only have a chance to play the number once. The second time, the number will expose you. That means if you want to manipulate the number in any stock, you can only do it once if there is an opportunity. The second time, that's the number will make you probably know that you are doing up. Then, looking at the number from UBA and Wema Bank, will say this is a good number for these banks. And UBA will have seen their performance for 2022 impressive, starting on this strong note for the first quarter of the year. Despite, like we say, that these numbers beat market expectation. Why? Because we expected that the kind of economic contraction we saw in the month of February and March, will kind of affect the sector, the economy. But companies' results are that there's activities that, despite the cash crunch, that means the online and all really supported the banks. Nearly all the banks Q1 are looking good. Starting from this UBA, I tell you, this is a fantastic number. Look at what that came from Access Bank first quarter, what that came from GT Code, from FCMB, for me from the same Wema Bank. For me, this is important that where they are going. Can look at all their top lines and bottom line are above inflation in the service sector. But for me, it's a good one for the market. That means that for investor, nowhere to print your tent now, that we're just starting a new financial year ahead of what the incoming government policy that will like to change. And that for me is a good one for the market.
Okay. Let's have your take, Kasimo. Hello, are you there? Hello, Kasimo? I'm not sure if Kasimo can hear us, but okay, maybe we should quickly take a look at the final number here. The Nigerian Police Force Microfinance Bank, if you look at the gross earnings, rising to 38.3% there, from 5.17 billion to 7.15 billion in the fourth quarter of 2022. And of course, in the financial year, look at the PAT, that's profit after tax, rising from 707.4 million to 882.17 million. And look at the change there with 24.7%. Earnings per share, by looking at the earnings per share, jumped from a decline rather from 0.31 to 0.25 there. And look at profit margin with about dropping from 12.31% to 13.73% there. Dividend is at 10 kobo. So Ambrose, let's talk about this.
For me, in all ramification, this number is still outstanding, despite a decline in earnings per share, because this company kind of increased their shareholding with their right issue and bonus they give. That's why we are seeing that there's a decline in earnings per share, despite we are seeing growth in the top and the bottom line of the bank. And don't forget that I said that these financial institutions or service providers are the ones posting impressive number, and which Police Microfinance is one of them. This number for me is outstanding, even when with a large share in issue, still having to pay the 10 kobo they paid the previous year, even when also we have a decline of their earnings from almost from 31 kobo to around 15 kobo, then they are paying 10 kobo. For me, it's a good one. But I want to see how their first quarter will look like to start. But I believe that the financial sector, because of the high interest rate, we're seeing in the in the economy from the monetary policy is also helping the financial institutions, the banks, to rake in money, because I tell you, go and check all their interest income. They are all moving with 50%, 20%, 40%. Tell you that interest move from 11.55 to almost 18. You know, understand, from May 2022 to for me, that is a huge place for them to make money. And it's also reflecting on this number. For me, it's a welcome development. You can see what Wema Bank did. Wema Bank also grew their dividend from 24 kobo to 30 kobo on a good earnings for a full year. And their Q1 that came yesterday or this morning also stand out in the market. For me, they were saying that this bank, as well as our banks, are solid, not in a mature economy where they're having banking their financial sector or banking sector having issue. But here, I see that our bank have become solid. Numbers are coming to the where they're going. Also, we believe that with CBN putting the right policy in terms of this rate, because also rates also affecting the bank, because I tell you, if the banks are not lending, they go to invest in fixed income market like Treasury bill. But I believe that we need to bring the interest rate so that we can't just suffer the economy for other sectors like banks to gain. We need to carry the economy and the banks together so that
and interesting, the next MPC meeting, it's about 3 weeks away from here,
in May.
And so we should be expecting that. But let me get a final thought from Mr. Akrufi, who is virtually with us. Thank you for your time. So talk to us about these earnings. Are you there? Hello, Mr. Kofi. Well, I guess we perhaps finally lost him there, but a good way. What a way to end the program. However, thank you so much for your time, Kofi. Beg your pardon now. Kasimo Garoba Kofi is CEO, APT Securities and Mutual Funds Limited. Thank you for your time. In Assemble, at least. You've done your part of the show. Okay, so Ambrose, any parting shot before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I say investors should look at these Q numbers. It's a kind of it's a stepping stone for new decision. Now we are this number. There was fear already that we expect to see a poor performance because of the economy. We're not saying opposite of it. That means the economy, the market is headed somewhere. Take advantage of that surprise and invest wisely.
And invest wisely. And of course, on that note, we say thank you. That's our show this Friday.